little bit of late night business tasks. So superannuation and business activity statements are due like quarterly. So just doing that for the period from start of October to December. So a quarter, 3 months. I think I looked at the super paid that I had to pay, and I think that's like 2,500. So yeah, just more expenses, just as it is. 2,500, and that's due basically now. And I was just looking then at, you can see here, I don't know if you can see that, but basically that list here is like all the sales, because so for in Australia at least, GST. If you charge GST to everything that you sell, 10% of that goes back to the government basically. But any expenses that you buy, sometimes those, most of the time they are eligible for GST, so you pay 10% tax on that, you actually get that back. But things like staff payments aren't included in the things you pay for. So then technically, if you had the same amount of income and then expenses, but if the expenses included staff wages, that means you owe money back, because it's not equal then. So I guess a little bit of look here. So I guess you can kind of see here. So for the period, which is kind of cool, period between October and December, I've got 48,000 in sales, and obviously 10% of that, roughly 10%, based on different things, and not including some things. So it's 4,500 that I basically owe back to taxation office, through the GST that I have to pay. But when I look at the expenses, expenses in that same time were 29,800, because it takes away from the wages already, excluded, and then 2,700. So the difference between that, I have to basically pay back. So yeah, just more expenses. What have we got here? I know that, yeah, so it's all just wages and salaries, all that kind of stuff. Wages and salaries like 21,900. So if we kind of look at, and obviously I don't get any GST back from that. I actually have to pay for those kind of like wages, because that's where the superannuation comes in, and the taxes for that. So that's a separate thing, and that's just taxes for, that I pay the kind of employees. It's all very confusing. I'm only just starting to get my head around it properly. But yeah, so guess I'll just kind of see this stuff. So I'll actually have to, what I need to do though, I can see there's been some things that have been misallocated into the wrong section. So some things that I've like sent through saying I've paid for something like a subscription, I've accidentally put that as excluded. So I'll just have to update all those and then see. But when I look at it now, I think when I look at the summary of everything, if you can see that, there we go. Why can't I get this right at all? Anyway, so there you can kind of see, for December, from the October to December period, I basically have to pay them 1,700. Kill me now, basically. Always things to pay for, and you don't get anything in return. But obviously you do, yeah. So, but ideally, because I have to pay 1,700, and because the staff wages are not taken into account with that, technically you actually have to make a pretty decent profit, just so you don't actually have to pay that tax. Or not that you don't pay it, no, you don't pay it, but you have enough profit so you can actually pay off this with profits. And that's the ideal situation. But me right now, if it was breaking even, take away the staffing cost stuff, then I have to actually pay out of my own money from somewhere, out of fresh, whatevs. It's late, 10 o'clock, normally in bed by now, so out of thin air. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. So yeah, there we go. So there's that, and then there was like 2,600 whatever in super. So round up to 4,000, an extra thing that I have to pay for, with I already have stuff in February coming out that I need to pay for. So it's times like this when it really just frustrates me owning a business. And unless you're earning a crazy amount of profit to then pay off all of these expenses and all the tax stuff, then it's all good. But if you are breaking even, you just know that it's failing day to day, and you're not getting enough money to pay things off. So no wonder, and the more I do this, the more I appreciate, no wonder restaurants anywhere charges so much for everything, because they have to pay the rent, which is an insane amount. My rent's like 2,400 per month. And that's not even in like a busy area. I've heard of having some people paying rent $10,000 a month in rent. You pay that, but then on top of that, you're paying for the staff, you're paying for all the supplies, electricity, internet, literally everything like that, plus the superannuation payments, plus the tax on everything that comes in. You have to charge a lot, and you have to get a lot of profit to pay off all these things. So, yeah, this is a pretty shit situation again. So I know that I can possibly enter into a payment plan, like a quarterly payment plan, with this, which is good. Maybe not for the super though. So then at least I can maybe pay a little bit now, but then in a couple of months, a month or two, pay another 1,000, and then not do. So, but I'm already paying off the other one in quarterly, things like that. So, yeah, that's where it is. So that's pretty lame. That's what I'm doing before I go to a little bit of a holiday, just to see family and friends, and things got to deal with every quarter when they come up. So yeah, that's the video what I'm doing tonight. And yeah, annoying that there's obviously more expenses coming out. So I'm really just keen to do what I can to, in February, really try to get some clients in and push up that profit and the revenue for the month. I need to be way above. I need to have like a massive amount. I need like 5,000 profit just to then have everything break even after everything's been paid for. So that's what I'm trying to get to. And that's it.